Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name is Carter. I'm joined by Nate, and this is going to be... Hey, none of that.
What?
This is a no fun zone right here.
Yeah, no fun. Not allowed.
Hey, no. You keep your voice down. There's no fun.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do I need to the
volume,
the volume
the
or
tone,
the tone of
the
it?
excitement. Yes, there's no inflections, just as basic as you
Okay,
can
so
possibly
it needs to be a little bit more like John Tortorella.
Yeah.
Right? No fun.
Yeah.
No fun. Okay, got it.
Because apparently the Minnesota Wild hate fun.
And with a team name like the Wild, you'd think they'd be up for some fun.
You think they'd be a little more crazy, right?
Something.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what? You can't just look at somebody score a Michigan goal on you and be like, you know what? Let's just give this guy a hand. Like he deserves it. That was amazing to watch. Was it offside? Yeah, but like we don't care. We'll get it back.
Which I guess we're kind of going a little everywhere. We did get it back. Pavel Agenda got it back for his first NHL goal. Yeah. So congrats to him.
He gets the keyboard, not the sarcastic clap.
The sarcastic claps, yeah. Yeah, okay. I want to go just a little bit farther back in the day because something that I missed before the pre-recorded stuff, I guess that's going to come tomorrow, later this episode, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yeah. If you're a keener, in like about an hour.
Yeah. Adam Henrique not in the lineup tonight against Minnesota because he's anticipating being a dad.
Very cool.
Good on congrats to the Henriques, I guess, a little bit in advance because as far as we know, baby hasn't been born yet, but yay, babies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just to get out of that out of the way, but yeah. Okay, that offside call, is that technically right?
Technically it is. The skate is off the ice. Well, I mean, that doesn't matter anymore, but it's like it's past the blue line, you know. The off the ice skate is past the blue line. Yeah.
Okay, so now here's my question though. The offside call that we talked about against the Sharks the other day.
Yeah.
Should that not have been deemed offside? Like, this is the consistency thing that I'm talking about with NHL officials in the situation room.
Yes,
like,
but it's different because the Sharks guy was changing, so he's good. You know, that's the
and you know what? Both guys wiped their ass as well. Like it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
No, it is 100%. Yeah.
Oh, he's changing. Okay, then don't put a fucking door there.
Yeah, put it on the other side of the blue line.
Tell the rink staff to move the door, right? You can still have the bench there. Yeah, move the door. Jeez, if that's gonna be the thing that we're going for, and even then he didn't use the door. The guy jumped over the bench. Like
because the door wasn't open fast enough. Yeah.
Like fuck.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
So yeah.
It just stings more because it was a Michigan goal, right? And like it was so sick. It was just such a sick goal that doesn't. Yeah, it's not even going to be in the NHL history books. Like you're not going to see it in highlights. You're not going to find it in the game logs.
I think we're still going to see it in highlights because it was still throughout both of like the TQR and my personal Twitter feeds throughout the game. Even the TNT broadcast continued to bring it up, even though like they straight up said, they're like, we know it's not a goal, but we have to take one more look at this. Oh, we know it's not a goal, but we got to see this one more time.
Oh, right? Yeah. Like tomorrow's highlights, like on whatever sports show you watch, like it's going to be there. Yeah. But like at the end of the year, when they do top 10 goals out of, sorry.
I don't have the comments open. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's our buddy Bader saying hi, Carter.
Bader.
Not to you. Not to you, Nate, just to me.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, there it is. You come in after.
Okay. I assumed he couldn't get both in there at once because of his hand right now. So
gotta type one hand at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give him the leeway there.
What was
anyway,
I don't remember what I was saying. So
I don't know. We were complaining about the goal offside. Oh yeah, right. It was
highlights.
It's highlights. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're at the end of the year, they're not going to show it in like top 10 highlights, or top 10 goals highlights because it's technically not a goal. So
yeah, I mean,
which is dumb.
You could, with how officiating has been this year, not just for the Ducks even, but just across the NHL. you could put it together at least a top 10 of miscalled goals.
Yeah, or like
You
goals called
could
back.
easily,
Yeah,
yeah.
top.
Or
You could do a
yeah,
top 50 on it, like the misplays of the month that they do. That's like 50 or
yeah.
50 plays
And
or
it's
NHL's best.
no, actually, I want a 50 misplays, and it's purely just the NHL officials fucking up, and it's just gonna be from October to mid-November. That's
Yeah.
it. So we're gonna have multiple episodes of the misplay of the, or I guess it's misplay of the month. Okay, yeah, you could easily fill out a top 50 for just NHL officials this
Oh,
season,
100%.
and like you could already almost fill up an NHL officials one for November. Just like you could fill up a quarter of it just on the Ducks alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's okay. There's the little bit of bias there, but then taking a step back, you could almost fill a top 50 already. It's November 9th. Like,
Yeah. It's
Jesus.
pretty ridiculous. I see Lauren's
It's
joined
not
us in the chat
great.
again, the quack, and her usual Dallas Eakins, sorry, slander.
Yeah, it's okay. Is it a little bit on Eakins tonight? I guess we might as well get into it because like the first two periods, they were good, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, solid.
Like it was fine. The third period, this is where
The
the
effort was there.
entire team, from coaching staff down to fourth line guys, everybody all together just imploded.
Yeah.
For
Oh
this
yeah.
period.
Never mind. I said the third period was like the effort was there, but it really wasn't. Actually.
Oh no. The first two periods was where the effort was.
Apparently, I tuned out of the third period. So
you know what? That's fair. I totally get it. Because yeah, you're taking just shit shots. You're giving turnovers constantly, right? Or giving the puck away. You're just, you know what? Again, there were some not great calls by the officials on both sides. Okay, I'll make it even on both sides. There were some not great calls, but and maybe it's just because of the little bit of more to the Anaheim lens that I'm looking through here. But like the Max Jones one that led to the first goal against in the second period there, that's a hook.
That's
not even a hook in Timbits hockey. Like what the fuck?
Like all they did was see his stick was up near the hands, and then they were like hooking.
So the Ducks to themselves, and I talk about this a little bit later. If you're listening to the full episode, this is where this gets confusing. If you're listening to the full episode, I do talk about penalties later on. For those that are listening live, you're gonna get it now, and I guess the people later are gonna get it twice.
They get it a second time.
But like, as much as the refs aren't helping in any case, it seems, right? You have to take less penalties. And I know that's easier said than done, right? Some are just circumstantial and whatnot, but like some of these are avoidable.
There was I would say 3 of them tonight were probably avoidable, especially because they were like, we're already killing a penalty, and then you take another one.
Yeah,
like saying that game hurted. Yeah, it really did.
And okay, so you know what? You want to take away 3 penalties, right? That like didn't need to didn't need to be called is not the right term.
No, but they could have been avoided. Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been avoided. That drops you down to 3 power play chances against.
And that's what we talked about
That's what we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Is like the 5 against Florida. You take off the couple that were pretty unnecessary. You're down to 3. So like it's just the little things that just need to be cleaned up and taken care of, because obviously the refs are calling them.
Yeah.
So, and
again, to go on to the power play actually here for a second, 0 for 4 tonight.
Again, I thought we had it figured out. We had 2 against San Jose. Was that who it was?
Yes. Yeah, 2. No,
hey,
Vancouver.
Andrew, how's it going?
Vancouver, that's who it was.
Yeah.
I think
to be fair though, it's Vancouver.
I think the Zegras one was supposed to be a power play goal, if I'm not mistaken, before it got called back. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like we had something that was a power play goal and then wasn't, and that's I think the one that
it might have been that one then. Yeah.
But
what was that? Beginning of the second period?
Yeah, this is the beginning there. But I mean,
Yeah.
like penalty minutes overall in this game, like, yes, there were a lot of chances. There was a lot of penalty minutes in this game. First, let me just say that.
Mhm.
57 for the Ducks, 53 for the Wild.
There was 10-minute misconducts at the end, to be fair.
Yeah, there were a few there, right? But like, what is it? The Ducks and the Wild not liking each other is not something I really had on like my bingo card for this year, even though we've kind of like seen it, I guess, in a couple of games last season. But like, these are two teams that really don't play each other a whole lot. Like, this is not
and
what
for some
I
reason
expected to be a rivalry, I guess. So
yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. Like I would have pegged it for Arizona, right? Because of how last season ended, and like obviously like the state rivals in San Jose and LA.
Makes more sense.
Like any other division rival, really, but like there's
the Minnesota
not really
Wild.
any history between Minnesota. But I mean, whatever. I mean, they do play a very physical game, to be fair.
Do.
So
yeah.
And then you have to play Kaprizov pretty physically. So I think tensions just kind of build.
Which they did tonight as well, right? Like one of the fights or scraps, whatever, was like the result of him kind of getting like bodied around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the things I have in like in my notes here, at least, of like a lot of rough stuff. Like, honestly, overall, the games that I've watched NHL wise, and that's between Ducks games, Flames games, if there's just a game on just for like background or whatever, like this is the most like pushing and shoving after whistles and fights and whatnot that like I've seen in a while, actually.
It's because the last couple of years you didn't really want to get close enough to breathe on anybody.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're like, I really don't want to have to like not play hockey for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So.
And then you got tonight of Matt Dumba just being like, you know what? Fuck Max Comtois in particular tonight. So let's just make sure I get my glove all up in his face there. So
yeah. Couple more comments I just want to bring up here. Resident non-Ducks fan here saying proud of Arugula for scoring his first goal. Regenda. Yes. Or Regenda. I've heard it both ways.
Regenda. Get on the Regenda agenda, everybody.
And
shout out to Last Rivals pod for that one.
Yeah. Andrew saying lucky that I didn't watch the game tonight and others because of the 56th CMA Awards.
Oh, sweet.
Music Awards. Nice. If you're into country music, then I guess that is on tonight.
Yeah, just like a lot of rough stuff.
Oh, sorry.
On.
We got to talk about my hair for a sec. There's one more. Yes, I do. It's just not as like. Oh, I'll pull it the other way, but oh god, I can't.
It's not as flowy today.
Yeah, it's just not as flowy, so it's kind of hiding back there. But cameras are hard, man. Turn to my. It's not mirrored for me, right? So it's
that's fair. Yeah, just a lot of rough stuff. Just like it seemed like almost every whistle, it felt like there was
something like a face wash or like a little shove here and there was like pretty standard.
Like I know this game started late because again we're waiting not as long, but we're waiting for a national broadcast to wrap up over on the East Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like
even then,
this game still ended later than you would have anticipated, just because of all the stuff that was happening between whistles.
Yeah, right. Like it didn't start them like super late, but it was still a 2-hour, 45-minute game.
Yeah,
that didn't even go to overtime.
It was a 7:22 Pacific start, is what the Ducks had tweeted out.
Yeah.
So
and then that's okay. No, so 2.5, but yeah, it was still longer. It was
still longer, yeah. So, what else did
I do hate though that like
is there anything that you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just it's more so about the national broadcast. Like I get that you want to wait until the game is over, but then like we had 15 minutes of Biz Nasty like trying to just get like Sidney Crosby to say something exciting, and like I was like, can we, like I don't even care about this and that. I don't care about what the rest of the panel like. Yeah,
the hockey Mount Rushmore and that kind of thing. It's like that's something you guys can do later tonight. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It was just like I wanted to get to the game. Like I get if there's time in between or if you want to do like a quick
but
couple questions, but like it was going on, and I was like, why are we doing this when there's another game waiting to start?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's ridiculous. Like I don't even give a shit about TNT. Like I'm not, like I don't really even like anyone on the panel. I don't like the announcers. Like so, but I was forced to listen to them because that's the
Really,
broadcast we got here.
no Boyle for you? I like
Uh,
Boyle personally, but I guess I also
no.
watch the PLL and he does the play-by-play for that as well. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like when Boyle's doing the
Is he
play-by-play.
the main guy?
He's the
Yeah.
play-by-play
I
guy.
don't know.
Yeah.
At least tonight, anyways, I noticed he just fucked up a lot. Like he said a lot of things, and then I was like, is that what he meant to say? And then sometimes he would correct himself, but other times, like there was one time he
Yeah,
said
that's
like
fair.
Kaprizov and Boldy were fighting, and I was like, I don't think that's who you mean because they're on the same team. Like, yeah, they're both in the shot, but that's not who you're talking about. So like,
That's
it's
fair.
just yeah,
And to
just
be
as one
fair,
example.
like outside of, you know, people in California and us, I guess, who's overly paying attention to the Anaheim Ducks right now?
No, not many
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
So just to give a little bit of a benefit of the doubt there, but
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, is there anything else about the game in specific that you wanted to talk about? I think I have
Um,
one more point here. Otherwise,
yeah,
we've kind of,
not
or I
really.
guess I got
Like,
two more. So yeah.
well, I actually am curious. I doubt that they really have all the stats up, but just your thoughts as well on John Gibson. Like, I thought he still put together a solid game. Like, yeah, he let in 3 goals in the third period, but I think it
Yeah.
was more of like the team falling apart around him. Like, he was very solid. Definitely for the first 2 periods, and it seemed like for the third. And he faced almost 40 shots again. I don't know what the final count was, but 39 is
39.
what they
Yeah.
have it at right now. So,
This game is not on John Gibson
mhm.
whatsoever. Like you might look at the save percentage, oh, an 897. Like that's not great. Okay, but then let's go take a look at my favorite goalie stat, goal save above expected, right? Guy put up a positive 0.62, so rounded to 1, right? Like definitely made some good saves in that game for sure and bailed his team out, right?
Mhm.
Um yeah, I thought Gibby played just fine. Like that's the type of game that I've been talking about him like just trying to consistently have again,
Yeah.
right? And like that gives us chances there.
Mhm.
He had 27 low danger shots against or attempts against 14 medium, 5 high. And all no low danger goals against, 1 medium danger, and the other 3 were high danger goals against, right? And
Yeah.
that's more on his defense, right? Which
Mhm.
I guess leads into another point here a little bit of like that was a short defense that they were playing with tonight, right? Because
Mhm.
Shattenkirk was out at some point there. I think it was Bolio was out at one point.
After the fight, I don't think he played
Yeah.
after his
So
fight.
we're
And we
running
only dressed. Did we only dressed 6?
we only dressed 6. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're running 4 defensemen, right? So you could see the mental lapses like happening, especially in that third period, because guys are just
Yeah.
bagged at that point.
I do think generally Gibson bailed those out, like because it was the we were down Beaulieu in the second after his fight.
Yeah.
Shattenkirk played the whole second, but then the 2 goals early on in the third period that Minnesota got to make it, I guess, 3-1. I have a hard time chalking that up to just like, oh, you're tired, mental lapses, because that was your first game in 3 days. Like you're not really feeling the effects of the short bench that early in the third period, I don't think. And so I think those were just like actual structural breakdowns. And then
Yeah.
all the chances we gave up kind of after that you could chalk up to.
Once you're in the PKs, right? That's
Yeah.
when you're definitely going to have those lapses. And half the goals scored for Minnesota tonight were on their power play, right? Only 2 of them were scored 5-on-5. And I'm taking a look here. Fowler Benoit was the one pairing, and Kulikov Fowler. So Fowler on, unfortunately, for both the 5-on-5 goals, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, even looking at like those 2 pairings numbers together, like, yeah, Fowler was definitely getting like double shifted, I think, without like looking at like his total time on ice. Cause like
Mhm.
him with Benoit, 5-on-5, 8 minutes, 7 seconds. him with Kulikov 6 minutes 49 seconds. So like that's a good amount of time on ice already. And then if we take a look here, the guy played 24 minutes. Klingberg played 29 and a half. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit. He played 20. Jeez. And yeah, I think a lot of those minutes from Fowler came because starting at 2:22 in the third period, we had at least one defenseman in the box.
Yeah.
And for like the next 3 minutes, essentially, because Klingberg took a penalty. Benoit took a penalty 40 seconds later. And then just as that one was ending, Klingberg puts the puck over the glass. And then Benoit takes a roughing penalty. Oh, I guess that's only with a minute left anyways. So that, holy shit. Yeah, that was a lot of penalties at the end. But anyways, so like obviously Fowler would have had to make up those minutes.
Yeah, and like Fowler alone played 2.5 minutes shorthanded. Benoit played 5:12 shorthanded, and he has out of the guys that finished the game on defense there, he played the least amount of minutes at almost 23. Like that is a lot of ice time for some of these guys, right?
Who definitely aren't used to that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Fowler at the 24-minute mark there, Kulikov at 27. And Klingberg at 29 and a half. Okay, but then I also look at that. And I get it. We were on the PK quite a bit, right? And the PK, let's be honest, wasn't out as long comparatively at times than the power play, right?
Yeah.
But like Klingberg's out there for 6 minutes on special teams alone.
Yeah.
Out of his 29 and a half. Like there. With a guy like Klingberg, like he is a offensive defenseman, right? Offense is his first thing that he's worried about, right?
Yeah.
And when you get into a game like that one, especially getting to the third period, like, don't you want to have a little bit more of your defensive guys? Like, and again, I get it, they're gassed, but like it's kind of when I look at the time on ice that I kind of look at Dallas Eakins and just his deployment and kind of just question, right? Like, is Klingberg and Kulikov the guys that you should have been throwing out there realistically? So, like, I get you're trying to get goals, but when you're constantly in the third period, at least when you're on your heels for 19 of the 20 minutes, right?
But we did only have 4 guys to choose from, and Fowler and Benoit have to rest at some point. So,
yeah, it's
a tricky situation when you got 2 defensemen go down. But
yeah, it is. But it's just like if you flip the numbers, say of like Fowler, Benoit for Klingberg, Kulikov, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
right. It's just
honestly though, like at that point, they should have. At that point, Dallas Eakins should have looked down the bench and been like, "Anyone want to play defense?"
Yeah,
Legenda,
exactly.
Jones, Comtois, anybody? Like,
yeah. Hey, Godden, you're only playing 11 and a half minutes tonight. Let's and actually no, Glenn Godden played almost 5 minutes shorthanded. Okay, interesting.
I mean, when your penalty kill's that bad and you take that many penalties, you kind of have to shake things up. But
Godden, I guess, seems to be the replacement for Derek Grant, who didn't play in that game, who's normally that like point guy, I guess, on the defensive end there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just kind of like looking through a few things, and it's just a touch interesting just seeing like the time on ice and just kind of the deployment a little bit there.
Yeah, no, it is interesting.
Like
I think we should.
I get Regenda's a young guy, but like he scored your goal. You're only playing him 856. Like let's change it up here a little bit. So clearly, what you're doing, especially for the last 14 games, is not working. Right?
Yeah,
it's time to change things up. So
let's take a quick break here with our friends over at DraftKings, and then we've got probably a couple more things just to touch on quickly before the end of this part of the episode, or if you're watching live, the end of the episode.
I guess it's whatever else you have. I think I got most of my stuff out.
Okay. Yeah.
But
But we'll take just a quick 60-second break here.
NFL Sundays are only getting better, and so are the incredible offers at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, and point totals. With bigger payouts than ever, DraftKings Sportsbook is my go-to when betting on the NFL. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now, use the promo code THPN, and place a $5 pre-game moneyline bet to get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Again, that's promo code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
I just quickly wanted to chat about what our defense is going to do now, because we have Shattenkirk out, we've got Drysdale out, Vakanainen, Beaulieu potentially. I don't know.
4 guys. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
and
and
I
like-
mean, I guess as of right now, though, we don't know if Shattenkirk and Beaulieu are going to be out like long term.
yeah.
For all we know, they could be back on Saturday against the Blackhawks, and it's a non-issue, right? But
Shattenkirk right now is listed as day-to-day with a lower body. Beaulieu, there's been nothing about, so not.
But
totally
you're right;
sure
it does warrant a little bit of a conversation there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Beaulieu, I'm concerned because it was immediately after the fight, so my first instinct is to think it's like a hand injury of some sort, which obviously takes a little bit of time to heal depending on the severity of it. But I didn't really see anything that would indicate a broken hand, but it's still enough, right? So but yeah, with Shattenkirk and his age and it just being lower body, I don't know if I don't even know I don't think they really could pinpoint a play with it.
And John Moore is out too on the defense.
Yeah. And I mean, he's never played a game with us, but like he's still a guy that's on our roster and isn't going to play. So so it's just concerning. Like what are our options at this point? Like, I guess we can call up Brouillard from the AHL, but I think he's more of an offensive defenseman. Like we have Colton White in the wings, but we're losing like consistent guys. At this point, so.
I'm trying to take a look at some of our depth right now. Why am I not seeing Brouillard?
Is he maybe just an AHL contract?
I think he is. Oh no, actually I feel uneasy saying that now.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Anyways, Oliu Levy, though, in terms of like actual depth that's at least listed here for me. Yeah, Oliu Levy might be coming to play some NHL time here pretty quickly. Him or Austin Strand. Because I don't think you want to bring up like Drew Hellison or Axel Anderson, right, as like a 21 and a 22-year-old just yet, right? Bring up the 24 or 25-year-old that has a little bit more just professional experience overall.
Yeah, right. And like you don't want to bring those young guys up to this team at this point in the season when you're trying to turn things around and like hopefully get wins and push for a playoff spot, because like it's kind of now or never sort of thing.
Yeah, we do have Chris in the chat saying like call up Hellison from the Gulls maybe. So that's but Chris's next comment here is what I'm thinking. Claim Mike Riley off of waivers, who was just put on there today by the Boston Bruins. The
probably
Ducks,
to make room for McAvoy to come back. I think he's this week or next week. So
which fuck the Bruins on that. Jesus Christ.
Right? Ruining everybody's predictions. Like
exactly. Okay, let's take a look at the standings. Should be updated, I guess, now, so we can see
I think so.
where, because I do forget this one all the time, if it's based on last year's standings or if it's based on the current standings for.
It's based off of last year's standings until a certain point of the season. I think it's November 1st.
Okay, so
it might be December 1st though. Let me check.
So either if it's December 1st, Anaheim's got what, the second or third choice selection. If we're going by right now on November 1st, they have the fourth right now because they're sitting 29th in the league. So, and that does look to be updated. That's after 14 games now. So,
if the player's placed on waivers after November 1st, then the claim order goes by the current season standings. Yeah.
Okay, so
before then, it's last year's reverse standings.
Yeah. Okay. So Columbus, St. Louis, and Ottawa, and I don't think they're in a crazy bind for defensemen right now. So
I don't think so.
Pat Verbeek, man, you got to help your team out just a little bit here, right? Like, not saying that he hasn't overall, right? He has done things,
but now something has to be done.
In season thing right now, like you gotta help them out a little bit, right? Because
like Mike Riley is basically a gift to you at this point. Like, is he the best defenseman you could possibly get? No, but when you need to bring somebody in now,
absolutely.
Yeah, dude's played however many NHL games. It's enough that I know his name.
300 some. I'm just pulling up his stats right now. Here, I got it right here. Yeah, 339 games under his belt. Been playing in the league since 2015.
He's kind of split those between Montreal and Boston. Is that right?
Minnesota for the first 2.5 years, and then Montreal for another 2.5, then Ottawa for 1.5, then Boston.
Oh, okay.
Since Boston since 2020, 2021. So
okay, cool. I also did look up Brouillard. He is not signed to an NHL deal, but obviously
that might be a thing though, where hey, you have to. I like Brouillard is. Yikes! Brouillard's maybe your best chance right now at like somebody solid
and somebody who's already in the system. Like, I'm assuming there's not a ton of difference between the NHL and the AHL systems, like the Ducks and Gulls systems, I should say. So
it's okay. Is it adding? Okay, what are the Ducks at for contracts? They can't be near enough.
No.
Like for to be close to the top. I mean,
45 out of 50. So you claim more, you sign Brouillard, you're still at 47.
Yeah, you can make that work. Yeah. So if, again, I'm not Pat Verbeek, I'm not a guy who has an NHL GM job. If I was in that position though, I would definitely be looking at claiming Mike Riley and hey, Nick, we're gonna sign you to an NHL deal because we need a little bit of support up here. So like, we know we're not doing great, but like we just need guys who can play the position that they can play the position, basically. So
because like
I got nothing else for you. Just play the position, please. So
because
we're desperate at this point, and we need like the younger guys to still could try to develop in the AHL. So
exactly, because like right now we really only need one guy because Colton White is coming up, but another defenseman goes down, and we're fucked, right?
Yeah,
like so it's it's pretty desperate now. I would say, but But yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Hopefully we get some news on Shattenkirk in the next couple days, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. Same with Beaulieu as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully we get something about Vakanainen too. That would be nice to know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Is there anything else for this game that you want to talk about?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Stuff, yeah.
I was gonna say, I guess before we wrap up, and speaking of injuries, Andrew in the chat here, did you hear about Kane's scary injury from the night before? Yeah, obviously Carter's a Oilers fan, right? So you were watching that game, I think. And
I had just I had worked late last night, so I had just gotten home and turned the game on, and it was just after that, so I didn't know what was going on. But my dad had texted me, and he was like, pretty scary what happened to Kane. And I was like, what? And he was like, you got to rewind it. So I just hit skip back a few times, and then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, that is that's terrifying.
I came across the clip on on Twitter after like you and Adam were kind of talking about it a little bit, and I kept watching the hit and his right hand at first, and I'm like, okay, like did like a stick clip somehow, and then it was like showing, oh no, it's the left hand, and I was like watching the left throughout the hit, and I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I was listening a bit more to like the broadcast guys talking about it, and they were talking about the skate over. So then I'm like kind of watching Kane skate. I'm like, okay, like did he have like some weird like contortion that he?
Yeah.
And I was like kind of watching it a little bit more, and then I saw Maroon's like it just goes over. It looks like,
Yeah.
but even that just over with how sharp those blades are, right?
And how exposed that area is too. Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh shit. And then saw the blood and him skating off, and I'm like, holy crap. You know, like I'm not a fan of him overly as a player, as a person, but you know, like you don't wish like harm for somebody in like for like that kind, I guess. Like I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I don't wish harm on Evander Kane. There we go.
Yeah.
And that one is like that is a thing that if that skate had been like a little bit harder in, right, could have potentially ruined his career. So luckily he was able to get to a hospital and he's fine. It came out today, what, 3 to 4 months. He's going to be on the injury reserve. So that's going to hurt. I think
he got surgery already.
Yeah. I think he got it already. It was just like emergency surgery, but tough break for the Oilers, but I mean, at least like hopefully for Kane's sake, just for life, even that he regains that full function in his hands. So
yeah, Andrew saying here thought like it could have been the head too right away, because like he was. We'll say he fell down in a battle. We won't get into the rest of that, but fell down, his head kind of snaps back. So like instantly you're kind of already thinking like concussion. I think he even took a Maroon's knee to the head just before the skate hit him too. Like it's like he had a pretty rough time down there in the span of like 5 seconds. So like, initially you're like, oh yeah, like he probably got hit in the head, probably didn't feel good. Like, yeah, something's probably wrong. But until you see the skate or like know what you're looking at, like it's very easy to miss, which is even scarier. But I did watch a video of like a doctor explaining kind of what happened in that scenario and like what could like the potential effects could have been. Yeah. And he was saying that because in the moment just before Maroon's skate hits his wrist, his thumb is pointed up. So, and that just like exposes like the artery in your wrist. Oh, I guess can go a little higher. And like tendons, nerves, like everything. Like if his hand's in any other position, it's generally okay. But the thumb up was like awful. So
having taken skates to the fingers before, I can tell you it's not a fun time. So I can only imagine like your wrist like across, right? Like not a great time. So hoping the best for Kane's recovery there. So I guess with that, that's the end of the live segment, unless you have anything else. I got nothing else.
No, I think I'm good. So if you're listening to this the next day as a full episode, we'll flip over right now. All right, so let's talk about the game against the Florida Panthers, 5-3 loss on the Sunday night there. I guess let's start before we get more into the game, we can start with the reverse retros and just some thoughts on the full kit and seeing them in action.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Shaking my hand right now because fuck, they are hot. Spicy.
They're good.
Damn,
they're good.
good looking.
We knew they were good. Like
we knew they were
saw
good.
them, but like just seeing them in action is like just chef's kiss.
It's so much better. So much better. Now, this is just a personal thing. I know there's a lot of people that did seem to like it. Personally, I would just have black pants. That's if you were to make this a full-time thing.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly, like you like it seems like everybody's hoping to make these a full-time thing if they can, right? Like there's always kind of the it's reverse retro. It's supposed to be just for this, but the Calgary Flames got around it with their alternate jersey, right? Just by adding little things that make it a different jersey. So here's hoping the Ducks can do something similar, right? And have this as an away jersey in the future, have an orange or a black one as the home jersey in the future, right? I made a concept that was an orange based just because I think they should lean into the orange, I think. But I've seen some great black versions as well that would look fantastic. If they were to go down the full-time kit path, though, I think it needs to be black pants, personally. Especially if it's an orange jersey, it would just be a lot of orange.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I
do agree with that, but like for a retro jersey,
or
the
just
orange
as like
is
the reverse retro idea, this looks fantastic, and I
Yeah.
love it. The team that worked on these did fantastic work at this point. And I know like it's like the idea of reverse retro, it's just like a recolor kind of thing, but like you can fuck up a recolor, trust me.
Oh yeah,
you can easily fuck it up and make it not look good.
Yeah,
So
look at Dallas's the first time around, where they took a sick jersey and just made it all white, and it's like that's awful.
All that jersey needed even was like the silver that was replacing the gold in the Stars logo. Make that black, and the actual like bottom of the sleeves and the torso, right? Like kind of the outside of the star, I guess. That just needed to be green. Like it's just a couple things here and there that can completely ruin a jersey, which like it's such a like as someone who just does it for like concepts and is like slowly getting into it for some side cash, basically. Like props to those people that like, do this as a job, right? Like that'd be a dream job for me, but like because your work gets put out there and it is going to be criticized for sure, right? Like I'm sure there's people that don't like this jersey even, right? This reverse retro, right? And there's going to be the nitpickers and that kind of thing. But I think for the most part, though, it seems very, very much in favor. Like 99% is what I've seen. I actually don't think I've seen a negative thing about this jersey yet. I've only seen one person just say flip the gold and the black around, but I think those color placements at least are perfect, especially when you're comparing to the original jerseys, right? Where the black is where the eggplant was and the gold is where the silver was. So I think it works perfectly there. So, yeah, this is a fantastic look, and it looked good on the ice. My favorite thing is the gloves, though. I think out of like outside of the jersey,
like just in terms of the full kit, in
terms of the full kit, those gloves, make those full-time gloves, please. Just that pop of orange in there, right? Because the ones that the team has right now, this is me getting into my design.
Well, actually, you have pictures here, so we can pull them up for those that are like.
Oh yeah, I guess we
aren't actually thinking of like what the can't think of what the gloves look like. And
yeah, you are absolutely right. Like it is like just beside my screen here, and I'm just like. Yeah, not even thinking about it. Here we go. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, we do have the jerseys up. This is Isaac Lundestrom during warm-ups there. And this looks fantastic. And those gloves in particular, I love those gloves, just that pop of orange on them. Because like not everybody needs to have like a special pair of gloves, right? Like don't get me wrong, but just that pop of orange somewhere in there would be great. Because if I'm not mistaken, like the gloves right now are just straight black with white logos, right? Like you can find those at any store, right?
Yeah, right.
Which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's also kind of bland in that respect. Yeah. So just to have that pop of color would be really nice. Like even if you just had like an orange logo with a white outline, right, and kept the cuff black or something like that. I guess I haven't described for those just listening. The reverse retro gloves, black base, orange cuff, black logo with white outline on the writing there. So I think these gloves look awesome. So
for sure. I'm just trying to. Oh yeah, you're right. I've got a picture of Zegras here. It looks like it's in the bubble because all the seats are covered, but I mean, I doubt they've changed it. Yeah, it's literally just all black, and then the brand is white. And I think the home jerseys. Yeah, we've got the where after he scored the dish again. That one. Yeah, same thing. There might be a little orange on the inside cuff of the glove or something.
I think
it's hard to really tell, but
because he wears Bauer, right?
Yeah.
That's just the inside of the glove. Like that's just like the padding inside.
It just happens to be orange.
It's like a red, I think, is what it is on their gloves. So.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no,
yeah.
like I mean, it looks fine with the jersey, but you're right, it is just kind of boring. So
Yeah, the thing actually for the, and I'll just say this for the reverse retro jerseys overall, actually, that I haven't really touched on, but like the more we're seeing them on ice now, especially, right? It's really popping out to me, but it's just a subtle detail. Just the orange NHL shield. Like it's still the modern one. It's not the left to right down shield that it used to be before the 2004 2005 lockout. It's still like the left to right upwards, which is supposed to signify, the NHL moving upwards and forwards is what it's supposed to be.
that's pretty fucking dumb, but
Just
anyways.
but just bringing in that old school orange on it, that matches perfectly with this Ducks jersey, especially. But it looks good on all the other ones. I think it does give that little bit of something else, right? Because they did have just like the normal silver NHL shields that you see on every other jersey for the first reverse retro line. And this is just like a subtle detail that I think just really ties the whole thing together and shows you that these jerseys are something special besides what's inside the collar. So
yeah, and yeah, with it being kind of it's a different kind of orange, but like it definitely says like, oh, like the whole league is going retro at this point.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
So it's very cool. But
and like I think there's only a few teams, and I'm trying to think of them offhand. Like Carolina would be one, I guess, but I think like the majority of the jerseys used actually would have been from the like before
like pre-lockout
2005, actually. Yeah. So
yeah,
I'd have to double check
Carolina,
what the other ones would be offhand, but yeah, I think it is pretty close actually. You know what? I have a file here. Let me just take a very quick scroll, and I'll tell you if something pops out to me. Okay. Currently, there's
obviously besides Vegas and Seattle too.
But yeah, besides Vegas and Seattle, but
out of the other 30,
yeah, everything is pre-lockout. So it
go and fucking ruin it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, besides that though, like I think the most recent jersey, like in terms of its original wearing, I guess, would probably be something like the Lady Liberty or the Oilers oil cog one, I think, actually.
Yeah, because those were like 2000. Oh, and like Tampa Bay, like those. Oh no, Tampa's was 90s. Never mind.
Yeah, Tampa's I think they stopped using that one in 2000 or 2001. Like it wasn't used for very long either. Yeah, like the only other one that I could think of would be like Montreal, but that like they're basing it off of their current jerseys anyway, right? So like
yeah, exactly.
But again, when you haven't changed your look a whole lot over the 100+ years at this point, right? You're gonna run into that. So
yeah, I had mentioned that whoever scored first was who I was going to get on the back of this jersey, and I was very excited when it looked like Strome scored the first goal. I was like, oh hell yeah! And then Adam Henrique just got like a little tip on it. And like, I like Adam Henrique, so I wouldn't be mad about a Henrique jersey, but like I for that brief 30 seconds, I was really looking forward to a Strome jersey, and then he got another goal 27 seconds later. So big night for Strome. So I think I'm gonna break my rule a little bit and give it to Strome.
You know what? I think that's fair. You wouldn't be wrong though with going with a Henrique jersey. I don't think though, especially with like the guys that you like are kind of those veteran guys that have been around for a little bit, right? Like the jersey that you have now has Silfverberg on it, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would still fall in line, but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Strome either, having just signed that contract here this summer. So
yeah, exactly.
That'll be a cool jersey. So
I would be kind of like it would suck if Adam Henrique got like traded soon, because I think his contract is up. Well, it's definitely up before Strome's, but like, you know, in this day and age, you're never really sure who's going to be sticking around. But like Zegras, Drysdale, Strome and Vetrano and McTavish are like the 5 guys I don't think are going anywhere. Strome and Vetrano because we just signed them, so like to longer term deals. But so yeah, it would just kind of suck to get a Henrique jersey and then have him take off. But
yeah,
where's he at in his contract? Oh yeah, second last.
Also, he might still be around for a bit.
Yeah, potentially. Like he could go somewhere in the off season or like next year. But 10 team no trade.
Let's not put that juju out right now though.
No, definitely not. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the Strome one. So,
Nice. That'll be sweet.
yeah, and I've said before too, like I really like Ryan Strome, just kind of everywhere he's played, like Edmonton, New York,
Yeah.
Anaheim now. Like he's just a fun player to follow. So
Yeah, I was gonna say he has been a guy that like you have followed, so it does make sense too. So
yeah,
but I think I'll get mine just blank to start. Maybe eventually get somebody on it. I'm leaning towards a Terry or a Zegras, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Maybe this would be my Troy Terry jersey because I think the orange one, if I go get that done, and I'm talking about getting all these jerseys done up as if I have money. But I think that would be my Zegras one actually, and then
yeah, that'd be good.
yeah, and then the 25th anniversary would be my Gibson. I think I'm not gonna do my first reverse retro because it is a Fanatics jersey, but
Yeah,
I'll just
fair.
leave that
So,
one as is. So
yeah. Well, speaking of John Gibson, he looked pretty good actually in the game against Florida here. So he, I guess we can get Lundestrom off the screen for now.
Oh, actually, do you want to put Gibson up though?
We could. I guess you do have
Gibson
that.
up.
Yeah, let's see.
I do have Gibson. There's Lundestrom again. There's Gibby.
Nice.
And yeah, his gear this year worked perfectly, right?
Oh yeah,
that Top Gun inspired helmet art is still so good.
It definitely fits the retro theme
Yeah.
too. Like it's super cool that way.
I almost want to redo my mask, like my personal mask, to be in this style. I'm like this close to doing it, but I just need the time more than anything. So
that's fair. But yeah, he looked phenomenal. He faced 48 shots, made I guess 44 saves on it since the one goal was an empty net there. But
yeah,
I just thought he was like a nice calm presence. Like his positioning was generally pretty good. Besides, when the defense didn't clear the rebounds out of the way, but generally he had a pretty good night just by the eye test as well. And it could have been a lot worse considering how many shots we let Florida take.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is another night where the eye test and the stats do line up actually and show that John Gibson did have a good game, which is really good to see because we haven't seen that for like a week and a half kind of thing at this point. Yeah, Gibson ended the night with a .915 save percentage and a 1.14 goals save above expected, right? Like that's what you would hope to consistently see out of your number one guy, right? Which that's the big thing here, right? I don't think anyone's doubting that he can still be the number one guy or anything like that, right? He just needs to find that consistency, and it's not even just from the team that's playing in front of him, right? It does come within himself as well, right? Because like, it is something that we've talked about throughout this season already. He just needs to find that stride and just be able to continually go on it, right? Like if you have, like say every 1 out of 5 games or something like that, that you dip into the negatives on like your goals save above or something like that, right? I'm not even as worried about the save percentage because you got guys that are winning games and throwing up, say, a 2+ goals save, but they have only 18 shots against in the game, right? It's just, it happens, which is why I really like the goal save above expected because I think it shows a little bit more of what the goalie's been facing. But yeah, if you have like say 1 in 5 games, dip into that negative there a little bit, like that would be fantastic. And like that's where I'm hoping that Gibson can get back to.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and then I guess also like you had a note here about the goals, the first 2 goals that
this is more on the defensive play, I guess. Which again, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to stay away from as much as I can. Just because of how much I talked about it last year. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, right? I do want something new for everybody to listen to. In this case, though, the first 2 goals are, I don't think, Gibson's fault by any means. No. Just these 2 in particular just kind of stood out to me because both of them, like he's being screened, not even by Florida guys, by his own defenseman, right? Please, defensemen, forwards, if you are listening to this, please do your goalies a favor and move the fuck out of the way so we can see the puck or the ball or whatever. Please. Like, unless you're blocking, right? Please get out of the way. Like, one of my favorite things to say to some of my guys, like especially if like they start to block a lot of shots, is like, hey, you see all this gear that I'm wearing? Like, it cost me a lot of money, and it's designed to stop the puck. Okay, get out of my way and let me stop the puck. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. So, what else we got here? Well, we talked about Ryan Strome already, how he had looked like a goal, but ended up with an assist there because Henry got a little tiny piece of it. And then, yeah, just like a kind of like a classic Strome goal, I would say. Like he just kind
a
of,
little bit.
He just goes to the net and then like gets covered and then just kind of fades away. And then the puck just ends up popping out to him and he puts it in. Like that's a very Ryan Strome kind of goal to score. But yeah, it was just a big goal because it tied the game. And it was like the second of 2 quick ones. So it was just really awesome to see him have a good night. I think that was probably, just trying to think about it off the top of my head, I think that was probably his best game as a Duck that we've seen.
I was gonna say at least top 5. So
well,
I mean, like,
he's only
there's not a
played
whole
like 12,
lot.
but so like, yeah,
but,
it's definitely.
I mean, it's still up there. Okay, top 3. How about that?
Yeah,
So,
but like, I don't know. He was just like very noticeable. Like even when he wasn't scoring goals and taking shots, like he just looked like comfortable.
Yeah,
finally,
absolutely.
so.
Yeah, he had a goal and assist, 2 points on the night, 4 shots on goal as well, which is awesome to see, right? Like we want more good shots coming.
Yeah,
and
he's kind of
awesome
leading by
number.
example that way as a veteran in the league, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to point out as well 3 other guys that seem to really be hunting around the net for this game here. Isaac Lundestrom, who did get a goal for his penalty shot attempt. Thank you, officials, for finally calling that after we just talked about it. Maybe NHL officiating listens to us too.
Yeah,
maybe not as closely as Dallas Eakins, but
yeah, I will say for sure this was Lundestrom's best game of the season. Like without a doubt. But
Troy Terry was hunting around as well. He had 6 shots on the night.
Oh wow.
And Max Comtois as well, 5 shots on the night there. So his expected goals wasn't as great in all situations, I guess. But Troy Terry there with a .67
nice.
expected goals. That's decent numbers at least. So yeah, those guys especially were hunting around the net for sure. So and Trevor Zegras, thinks still the only guy who took like more than 2 or 3 faceoffs to be above 50% in the game. They're going 5 for 9.
I really love that.
So,
I'm on board for him just being like just a face-off machine.
Yeah,
because like the rest of his game, like it comes, like he knows where to be, he knows how to score, he knows how to pass, like all of that stuff he's gonna do anyways. And like guys are probably gonna figure out how to defend him, but he'll adapt quickly. And no matter how much you defend Trevor Zegras, he's still gonna get that stuff. But face-offs are something that every star player in the league, I think, needs to work on when they first come into the league. And evidently he's done it and he's figured out something that works. And then it just takes you to another level, because then you can start with the puck and then just right away do the things that you know how to do, like Michigans and saucy passes and other shit like that. So it's fantastic. I love that that's working out for him. So
yeah, absolutely. What else did we have here about this game?
Oh, the Lundestrom penalty shot. We already kind of talked about that, but I love how he kind of did a Zegras move as well.
Just a little bit, but made it his own. Like I get it. It's not for anybody saying like, well, like how's that a Zegras move or whatever? Like it's just a hockey move. Yeah, it's a hockey move, but it's one that Zegras likes to do. Lundestrom
really
tweaking it. Yeah, he's really good at it. Yeah, and Lundestrom is tweaking it. It's kind of like how like there's the Ovi spot, right? Like that's just a patch of ice that could be anybody's spot, but we see Ovi go to it all the time. So that's why it's called Ovi spot, right? Like we're calling this Zegras' move because we've seen him do it in back-to-back shootout attempts at this point and be successful on it, and it just makes it even better that it's against the same team. But Lundestrom's penalty shot move there was really nice, I thought. And more than anything, I have that in there just for the thank you officials for actually calling one, because we were just talking about penalty shots even the other day of like there should be more, you would think, called in the NHL, right? With the amount of, hey, this is what the rules say kind of deals. So
and that was a textbook
example of
what exactly. So
absolutely. The only I did try to keep this as positive as possible in these notes, actually, if you didn't notice.
I did. And I mean there's lots to be positive about in this game.
Yes, is it a loss to the Panthers? Yes. Were we expecting it? I was, and I think a lot of other people were. I don't remember what you had for your predictions. That's why I'm just saying I did.
I did look it up. I think I said 6-3 Anaheim.
Okay.
Because I think I had
You
said
thought on a back-to-back
on a back-to-back for them,
Yeah.
against LA and then all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so okay, actually one more positive, I guess, is I guess positive, negative, depending on how you see this. Like there were good spots in the game throughout for Anaheim, but man, did Florida outplay us. Like this score is closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
You know, if you listened to this before, you know I like to take a look at the deserve to win-o-meter, right? Just kind of combines all those advanced stats and chances and everything like that, right? And gives you an idea of who should have won this game overall, right? 88.9% in favor of Florida for this game, and the expected goals was 5.95 to 2.44. So rounded, and again, you can't have a part of a goal, so I just round up to the next one. Should have been a 6-3 game realistically. So there's that save there from Gibby that we were talking about earlier with his 1.14 goal save above.
I would actually give that extra saved goal. I would give that credit to Kevin Shattenkirk with that sick glove save on I don't know, some nobody with the Panthers. I don't even know who it was, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I do recall it, and I was working during this game, but like during kind of my break, I was checking Twitter and saw like, oh, Shattenkirk's the new goalie, and I'm just like, Shattenkirk, just figure out how to be a defenseman first before you're trying everybody else's positions, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
The only negative I have about this game, and I could have talked about this in other games, and I think there was other games that I wanted to talk about this, but just there was other things that felt more of a priority, I guess. This team just has to learn how to stay out of the box. Right?
Especially with how bad our penalty kill is.
Yeah, like please. So like this team gave Florida 5 chances, and it was a trip / cross-check. A lot of those are pretty avoidable overall, right? Like I get it. They're going to happen. They're going to get called, right? I'm not saying that you can't ever stay out of the box, but I just look at
5 times a night, right?
Yeah, when you do it 5 times a night, and the type of ones that they are, right? Like even if there was a delay a game in there, I'm like, okay, you know what? Sometimes the puck rolls and you just roof it at that point, right? Like those are accidental, and
sometimes a trip is the other guy steps on your stick, and it's tripping.
It's incidental, but it's just there just needs to be a few less. That's all it is. So just little bit more what's the word I'm looking for here? Not responsibility, but
accountability.
No, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I can't think of it. Anyway,
I don't know, just like attention to detail though.
Yeah. Just a little bit more of that, and like you drop that 5 to 3. That's a lot more better, and you have a lot more of a chance, I think, during a game throughout that. Because if like look at it this way, 5 2-minute penalties, that's 10 minutes, right? That means 50 minutes out of 60 now is potential 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like that takes away half a period of time for you, right? To try to do something that you're on the back burner for. So you got to just figure out how to drop that down. So, because Anaheim has been getting hit with that quite often lately. So,
for sure.
But that's the only negative I have for this game. Otherwise, like everything else that Florida did, like I'm not surprised. The Florida Panthers are a very good team, obviously.
Yeah.
Currently, we are not so much. So like the rest of the game, I wasn't too surprised about. So that's why I was like, hey, let's bring up a few more positives, actually, because there were a lot of good things actually done in this game. Like if these were the efforts that we had every single night, I wouldn't have a fucking aneurysm every show.
Yeah. And
or watching every
lose,
game,
it doesn't matter, right? Because like you're putting in this effort. Like it's a good effort. If the Ducks play like this all the time, they're going to win a lot of games, I think.
Yeah, they'll win a lot more than we're kind of projected to right now, at least.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's all I really have to say about this game as well. So.
Actually, I would argue this as a all 20 guys game. I'm not counting Dallas Eakins because I still see all the flaws in his systems for sure. but as a 20-man effort, like everybody individual effort, this felt like the best game of the year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
So
I would agree with that 100%. So
yeah.
it's hopefully this is like either the new status quo, and I hope that we haven't just like peaked at like game, what is it, 14, 13, 14,
Yeah,
and
game
then,
14,
and then
yeah.
now it's just downhill and
Yeah.
sadness from here. But yeah, no, I would agree with you 100% on that. It was a really good game and a lot of fun to watch. So okay, you got a piece of news here. I didn't see anything about this, so I will let you take it away here.
Yeah, so not really Ducks news, I guess, but if you're a fan of the original Mighty Ducks movies, let's start there. There is a kind of a follow-up TV series that's on Disney Plus. No, this isn't paid sponsorship or anything like that, just kind of giving people the details. That's called Mighty Ducks Game Changers. So they're on their second season right now. I haven't watched any of season 2 yet. I've watched all of season 1 and I thought it was great, and it brought that original Mighty Ducks feel kind of back to it. Just for a more modern audience, I guess. Yeah, I haven't watched any of season 2 yet because this is the type of show that I would like to just binge watch, right? Like the 20-30 minute episodes kind of once a week doesn't really do it for me. Like the once a week shows are the ones like that I like, at least, are the ones that are like the 40-50 minutes. Like I'm okay with waiting around for those, but these shorter ones, that's why I haven't watched it yet, but I will get to watching it. I think there's only a few more episodes left. Like by Christmas, I will have started watching this, I think. So again, I have no context for this otherwise, except for like a clip that I watched about it. That Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, and Max Jones are on the newest episode of Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Oh, sick.
They're out in full gear and everything like that, out at Honda Center with the new Mighty Ducks. And it's and again, I'm kind of hoping for like the clip that I watched, it's edited down and we do have a bit more of these three guys, right? And especially with kind of the buildup that's apparently leading into it. It's apparently like the coach makes a call to the Anaheim front office, which, like, how does just a random hockey mom have the direct line to somebody in the Anaheim front office? It's a Disney show. We'll blow a little reality out of the water here.
But a little bit of magic. It's a magic phone. I don't know.
I'm just a little jealous because I'd like that number,
yeah, right.
please. So the clip at least is them just kind of all messing around on the ice and, you know, the Mighty Ducks way, just having fun, right? Zegras is out there teaching kids how to dish again and stuff like that. Like,
Jones teaching kids how to fight and like throw hits and stuff? Or
I don't think he's teaching them how to fight, but he is just like kind of deking around kids and whatnot. So
yeah,
but I don't know. I might have to just send you the clip. It's like a minute 15 clip. It doesn't like give away an episode or anything like that. So, like if it was something spoilery, I wouldn't even send it to you because I know you know how we both are, I guess, with spoilers especially. Yeah. But I just thought this was kind of cool. So, and really the only newsworthy thing to come out of the last few days. So
it's kind of a cool cameo. But
that's Ducks related. I'll say that's Ducks related. There has been a lot of stuff going around in the hockey world right now. We aren't going to talk about it on this show necessarily, but if you at least want my thoughts on it, feel free to go check out my Twitter at Tate Namas. I've been quite vocal on there as usual, I guess. But this is a fun clip, and I can't wait to watch this season in full and have this episode come up. It'll be fun, I think. So
yeah, I love just watching hockey players act because like they're not actors, they're hockey players, right? So like you can just tell they're doing their best, and it's like never really that good. Like whether it's a commercial or like an endorsement of some kind, or like they are making a cameo, like 9 times out of 10 it's just like really bad acting, but you're like, oh my god, it's this player, I know them. That's
Trevor Zegras commercials. I think he's doing them with Olive, have been fantastic. I still think, bar none, the best commercial that utilizes NHL players is that one from, oh my god, what year was it?
I know exactly which one you're talking about. I don't know what year it was,
the hotel one.
The hotel with Crosby, Ovechkin, like all those
like
guys.
Joe Thornton is still a Bruin, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or no, he's a Shark Phil Kessel is still a Bruin, I think,
Mm.
in that. So that shows you how long ago that was, right? And this is like the pre-Reebok Edge era even. So like Ovechkin still has like the screaming eagle jersey and whatnot. And also though, I gotta say the food that Ovi orders in that thing, fuck, I would love to eat all of that. That'd be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
If I was Crosby, sure, I'd be pissed about the bill, but I'd be like, man, you know what? He has some great picks here.
Yeah.
Ovi, if you want to split half the bill, like you can come down and eat some of this.
Yeah, right. What else we got here? Let's do the upcoming game, the one on Saturday against Chicago. 7 p.m. Pacific time there. That is going to be at home against Chicago. Game 3 of a 4-game homestand, I believe, is where that one will be at.
Yep.
I'm just gonna pull up if Chicago is going to be on a back-to-back. No, they will be in LA Thursday and Carolina Monday. So, yeah, and that'll be game 3 of their road trip. The last game of that. Jesus, that was hard to get out. I'm so sorry that for everybody that had to listen to that. So
we're trying to get through this so that if you don't remember, we're in the pre-recorded part of the episode now before the game against Minnesota. We're trying to finish so that we can go eat and whatnot before we do that game and then hop back on for the live part, which I guess you've listened to at this point.
Yes. So they are smarter than us right now at this point.
In Inception, podcast Inception. I don't know.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, if you want to direct an episode of this, hit me up.
Just looking at Chicago here. Sorry, they are. They've won one of their last 5, losing in overtime to Buffalo, shootout to Minnesota, regulation to the Islanders in Winnipeg, and then they did beat LA at home 2-1, and that's the only one there. So they're not doing fantastic right now.
No, they're currently sitting just outside a wild card spot. They are tied with Calgary in terms of points and point percentage, but
that's a tough one.
But Calgary has the better goal differential at -3, Chicago at -5. The one thing that makes me feel a little bit better about this game, which I'm going to call a 4-2 win for Anaheim, by the way, is that currently, at least as of Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, Chicago's home record is a lot better than their road record right now. Their home record's 4-2-1. Their road record is 1-3-1. So that makes me feel a lot better with Anaheim being on this homestand. Chicago hasn't been doing great the last 5 games, like you said, and them being on the road especially. And again, if we can somehow push it to a shootout and continue the regulation win streak or the non-regulation win streak, I guess, Chicago's 0-for-1 in the shootouts.
I mean, hopefully we can get our first regulation win. That's kind of what I would hope for.
That would be honestly, very nice to have. Until I see it, I'm just gonna be under the assumption that we're not gonna have a regulation win this year, just with how this team is right now.
Yeah.
Until I see it, I'm not gonna hold my breath, to be honest with you. And I know that maybe seems a little ridiculous. With this will be game 16, I guess, out of 82. But there hasn't been a whole lot, I guess, overall this season to show me that this team can hold a lead for regulation. So it's not that they can't do it. They just have to, if they can figure out how to hold a lead, then they'll be fine.
Other things to be, let me rephrase that. Other things that could contribute to the Ducks winning this game. Alex Stalock is currently on IR, or placed on IR, retroactive to November 1st. So I guess technically he's still just listed as day-to-day, but following a concussion there. So he's probably a question mark for Saturday. I guess we'll find out.
And Peter
Thursday.
Mrazek is out still too.
Yeah, he's still on IR. So right now their goaltenders are Arvid Soderblom and Dylan Wells. So
okay, Soderblom has played before. That's at least a name that I recognize.
He
What was Arvid Soderblom? You said.
yeah.
Yeah,
He was in net for the 4-0
year,
schlacking by
I
the
think.
Jets.
Yeah, so Soderblom was the guy who was around quite a bit last year with Marc-Andre Fleury, I think.
After
he only
Kakkonen left.
no, actually, sorry, that's maybe who. No, in Chicago. Sorry,
Oh.
Soderblom's not the guy that I'm thinking he is. Last year he played only 3 games, 2 starts, 0-2-0 record. This season he's already played more games than he did last, 4 games, a 1-2-1 record.
There's a Soderblom with Detroit. He's a winger. Is that who you're thinking?
Maybe that's who I'm thinking of. I'm trying to think now of who I was thinking of for Chicago last year, though. Anyways, Soderblom this year, though, Arvid Soderblom for Chicago, not doing too bad. He's got a .924 save percentage over his 4 games. So the losses, I guess, aren't necessarily his fault. 10 goals against over 4 games. That's not too bad considering where a lot of people thought Chicago was going to be, and being that third guy to kind of be in net this season, right?
Yeah.
I do want to take a look actually at just his goals expected. So if you have something else, you can talk about it for a second.
Oh yeah. I think the guy you were thinking of last year in Chicago was Kevin Lankinen.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then Colin Delia was another.
Lankinen's the guy I was thinking of. So
Finnish as opposed to Swedish. It happens. So
Soderblom is currently doing the best out of all 4 Chicago goalies that have played so far for goal save above expected, 1.7 over 4 games. That's pretty good, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that
not bad.
might be, Soderblom might be the roadblock here that the Ducks have to figure out, right? And that's on Zegras, Terry, Strome, McTavish. Hopefully, you can get another one here soon, right? Like I want to see that kid's confidence continue to climb up. Hopefully those guys can figure out Soderblom here, at least in the first period, right? And continue that on into the rest of the game there. So, but man, Chicago's really having to dig into that depth this season already, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, Seth Jones is out as well. So right now their top defensive pairing is Jack Johnson and Jake McCabe.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, so this will maybe put the Blackhawks back where we all think they were supposed to be.
I think they just had a really hot start, took advantage of some teams that weren't quite ready. Because like you look at their lineup, like they don't have a ton of injuries, but like it leaves a lot to be desired outside of Domi, Kane, and Taves in the top 6.
Athanasio, I throw him in there.
Yeah, but he's not really like the guy that you want on your like all year long on your top line. Like he's injury prone, he's fast, but he can't finish, and like that's kind of what you want. That's who you want playing with Patrick Kane, is someone who can finish. So like, he can be good for flashes, but I'm not set on him. And then
actually, no, I like Athanasio with Kane because Kane is more, unless I'm screwing this up in my head for whatever reason, like Kane is a bit more of a finisher, right? Like,
I guess that's true.
So like Athanasio, because even like I'm even thinking of like back when for that like couple of days before COVID hit, which feels like a lifetime ago, Athanasio up with Edmonton and Connor McDavid, right?
Yeah, I mean it was only a couple of games, so it's hard to say, but
like even for those couple of games, like I know even you and I were talking because it was constantly like who do you find to play with Connor McDavid, right? It's kind of the what is it, like the Chris Kunitz thing with Sidney Crosby, right? It's just finding that right guy. The talent might not necessarily be there, but just finding that right guy that can, like, those two just work together, right? Like we've brought it up on the show before. Chris Kunitz got to go to the Olympics for Canada. Probably wouldn't have been looked at whatsoever if not for the way that he was able to play with Sidney Crosby. Right, like those two were inseparable in Sochi there in Russia in 2014. But I don't know. Maybe I gotta check out some more Blackhawks and see if that's what Athanasio and Kane kind of are. And
maybe
Domi's a guy I want to know what is up with Domi that he keeps bouncing around.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Like
I think the problem is he wants a lot more money than he's maybe worth in the eyes of GMs. I don't know if that's maybe the case, but
is he like an amazing player? No. Is he a very, very serviceable player though that can still put up points? Yeah, he is. So
he's a top 6 on any team. Yeah, it's not an issue. But like, yeah, just looking at their forwards in general, like, sure, even if you say like there's nothing wrong with, and I mean, really, there isn't anything wrong with their top line, but like beyond that,
it's hurting.
There's a lot of stuff wrong. So
yeah,
this should be a win. And every time we say that, is it the monkey, what is it? The monkey's paw curls or whatever. Oh no, I mean that's
monkey's
not really
tail.
the phrase I'm looking for. But like it's it's not like I feel like every time we say that, like the Ducks just put up the worst fucking game we've ever seen. So
I'm just hopeful that the Ducks. The big thing for the Ducks is that they always seem to like to think that they can play down to teams, right? But when almost everybody. Okay, currently everybody except for San Jose and St. Louis in your conference right now are above you, right? You need to play that same way that you're going to play a Florida, that you're going to play a Tampa, right? Because those are the two teams, especially that we've seen really good games out of the Ducks. You need to play that way against all of these teams, right? And you need to still play those same games against San Jose and St. Louis when you play them, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
When do we play St. Louis, by the way?
That's a good question.
When do
we play them on the road, twice on the road, actually, on November 19th and the 21st.
Okay, so coming up here. All right.
A couple games there. Yeah.
And so, St. Louis 2-8-0 in their last 10 on an 8-game losing streak.
And then March 25th is the third game at home against St. Louis. So, but yeah, that's so we got those games to look forward to. But
that being said, though, sorry, just last thing for St. Louis. They did this in 2018 as well. And it kind of fucking terrifies me.
Yeah.
Who's the kid from the ECHL that the St. Louis Blues are going to bring up and it's just going to become a fucking star?
Yeah.
That's going to win them a cup. Like
you had already said 4-2 for Anaheim in this game. Yeah. I mean, I think I also am going to say Anaheim, even though I've picked them like, God, how long has it been?
It's been quite a few games. It's been a couple of weeks at least.
8 in a row. 8 games in a row I've got them. So, and I mean, they've won 3 of them. So like, so far won 3 of them. So not bad. Yeah. I think if Anaheim wins this one, 5-3. Nope. 3. There we go. Oh, I guess we can put Florida in, even though neither one of us got it right. But Florida. All right. And then we don't know Minnesota yet. And then Detroit is next week. Okay. That's all we need for that.
Cool.
Still 0 for 13 as of recording.
For correct scores, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll I think let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll do a Gulls update here and then brief what's quacking, and then we will wrap up the episode, since for us it's only been 45 minutes, but for you guys it's probably been longer because the Minnesota game will be tacked on to the front half of this. So we will take a very short break and see you guys in just a few seconds here.
I'm Corey Crenshaw.
I'm Richie Suave Flores.
And this is Sporty with Corey and Richie Suave.
On the Hockey Podcast Network.
What did I just listen to?
Oh, this game is just bullshit now.
Oh my gosh. They actually made me feel uncomfortable. What was it? Panty what?
The game has gone to bullshit.
Panty melted?
Why do we record these during the middle of games? Oh, God. Be sure to listen to Corey and I every Monday. We are your go-to source for the Arizona Coyotes on the Hockey Podcast Network.
Okay, really quickly. If you have the standings up on your computer right now, take them down. Don't look at them. Take them down.
For the AHL?
No, for the NHL, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't have them up.
Okay. So without looking at 5:15 Pacific time, where are the Arizona Coyotes? Or actually, no. How many points back from the wild card in the West are the Arizona Coyotes right now? Without looking.
Can you give me the number of points that the second wild card spot has?
12.
I have 12. Okay. I am going to say that they are 2 points back.
1 point.
Only one? Damn.
Yep. Arizona has also played 12 games. They are 1 point back from both the Calgary Flames, who has the wild card spot, and the Chicago Blackhawks, who has, again, the same record, but 2 less on the goal differential. Arizona's goal differential is not too great, though, -11, but can't
when
really
they lose
much.
tough. But
Can't really talk too much, though, when Anaheim is -22 for the goal differential. So I think still leading the league in that category. St. Louis isn't even as bad. It's a -20 there, which okay, you've heard me talk about a couple times how I'm like, I'm like this close to dropping Thatcher Demko. I did finally drop him, and now I'm like, who's my next guy? Might be Jordan Binnington.
Yeah. No, Arizona's putting together a pretty solid start for the season. To be decided if that continues.
Yeah.
Because
and actually in those 2 leagues, the one you definitely didn't see because you're not in that league. Did you see who I picked up in replacement of Demko for the 1 league though?
I feel like I did, but I don't remember who it was.
Ville Husso.
Oh yeah. No, he's going off.
And like in our league with how like our stats are, he was ranked 5th. Like in the whole league. I'm like, yeah, I'm taking him if nobody else wants him right now. And then the other one I picked up Vanacek from New Jersey. So he's been looking pretty good. So I was like, okay, I got some decent pickups there at least. So
yeah, that's good. Moving on to the San Diego Gulls here, just to give an update, our weekly update on how they are doing.
Speaking of not doing too well.
3-2 loss to Bakersfield, which we kind of alluded to last time because that game was just finishing up as we were finishing up the Wednesday episode last week. I never did figure out what was going on with how the the Gulls got an empty net goal when they were trailing. So I never followed up on that for anybody. But yeah, there was seems like an interesting end to that one.
Assumption would be like the delayed call and accidentally got put in kind of thing. So, but not sure. We'll have to go take a look. So,
yeah. And then back-to-back 3-1 losses to
Milwaukee.
Thank you. I was like, I feel like I should know who that is. But capping things off with a 7-0 win over the Henderson Silver Knights. So,
just like the big brother in the NHL, right? You're either going to like just kind of lose out, maybe a few embarrassing, but like if you're going to play good, you're going to play good. And like what? So, that's definitely an interesting one there. But very.
Next upcoming games, November 11th, Friday against the Bakersfield Condors, a little shot at redemption there. And then the 13th of November against the Ontario Reign, and then November 16th, San Jose Barracuda. So 3 very important divisional matchups coming up there.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I had to double check like where Henderson was because Henderson was like top 3 in the division last year. Not looking too good this year. They're 2-9-0 this season so far.
Ooh, rough.
So
yeah, that's very rough.
The Gulls have 2 more wins than the Silver Knights do at this point. So,
well, that's good. And then it's good that you can beat them too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The top 5 players here, I see you've got them put in. Is it still? Oh no, Brouillard's not leading the team in points anymore.
No, not anymore. It is currently Rocco Grimaldi leading the Gulls in points right now with 13 and 10 games played.
Must have popped off in that 7-0 win there.
Yeah. Brouillard and Danny O'Regan are tied for second with 11 points. Olivier
Bogru.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, why am I tripping up on this? Has 9 points currently, 4 goals, 5 assists, and Braden Tracy has 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points this season. Rocco Grimaldi is 11th in AHL points, by the way, with his 13th. With his 13 points, and Danny O'Regan is tied for 3rd in assists in the league, but sits in 6th spot because he's played 11 games. I think the guy that actually has 3rd spot has played 9. So, but a couple of goals are still pushing their way through, right? And
that's good.
And as we move ahead to the goalies, there has been some improvement for Lucas Dostal, which is fantastic as well. I guess we'll start with him. He's improved to a 3.06 goals against average and a 911 save percentage, which is a lot better to see than I think like last week it was an 886 or something like that. So like
something, yeah, it
that's
wasn't
a
very good.
drastic bump actually. So
Yeah.
he's been playing a lot better. It seems.
I
Like
mean,
lately.
a shutout win. I'm assuming he was playing for. Oh yes, he's got the shutout. So yeah, that definitely helps boost your stats. But
yeah, absolutely.
just in general, like only giving up 3 goals, potentially 2 with an empty net. I don't know how the Milwaukee ones ended, but like pretty solid games put up by the Gulls goaltenders here, regardless of if there were wins or losses. So
And then Ole Eriksson Ek 3.82 goals against and 884 save percentage. I wish we had like the goal save above expected and whatnot for the AHL. Excuse me, for the AHL. But obviously we're not gonna get it unless somebody really wants to dive into that kind of thing. So but until then, Gulls currently sitting 9th in the Pacific Division with a 4-7-0 record. So
nice.
Hopefully they can turn it around a little bit, but it's when I look at the AHL, I don't look so much for like, yes, the team record overall kind of can show you what the team overall can look like and what you have. But I do like to look at the individual stuff, right? Because that's like the AHL is supposed to be a feeder league, right? It's supposed to be giving you your next guys and whatnot. So I do like to look at the individual a little bit more for the AHL at least. So, and what I'm seeing, fairly happy with actually. So,
no, it's good for sure. I guess that leaves us with just what's quacking here.
Yeah, so this what's quacking is a TikTok I've had saved on my computer actually for a little while now, but we have actually had some things to talk about, which has been great. So this one comes from David. I think it's supposed to be David Freeze or David Freen. Everybody is the handle. Everybody is in the handle. Yes. And anyway, this is his idea for an NHL-themed restaurant.
An NHL-themed restaurant. You know, Timu salami sandwiches, Mike calamari, Dustin buffalo wings, maybe an RJ hamburger with Mark Edward Vlasic pickles, or Mike fish and chips with Thomas Tatar sauce. Just save room for dessert because you're going to want a Marc-Andre McFlurry with a Don Cherry on top. Wash it all down with a few Matt Molsons, couple of shots of Jaromir Jagermeister. Check.
The Jaromir Jagermeister I will gladly take, please.
Oh yeah.
we even had a ball hockey team called the Jagermeisters that we had like Jager's, like the outline of Jager's mullet in like replacing the deer or the buck, whatever it's supposed to be, antlered creature
animal.
That's in the Jagermeister logo. So
was that, sorry, I
you want to hear it one more time?
Yeah, well, because I tuned in halfway through that he was doing this TikTok as he was driving.
Yeah, don't TikTok and drive, kids. But yeah, here you go. I'll play it one more time.
Want to open up an NHL-themed restaurant? You know, Timu salami sandwiches, Mike calamari, Dustin buffalo wings, maybe an RJ hamburger with Mark Edward Vlasic pickles, or Mike fish and chips with Thomas Tatar sauce. Just save room for dessert because you're going to want a Marc-Andre McFlurry with a Don Cherry on top. Wash it all down with a few Matt Molsons, couple of shots of Jaromir Jagermeister. Check.
That's it still wiles me out that he was just TikToking and driving. But anyways, to actually talk about
it, kids.
The subject,
the Temu salami sandwich.
That's a good one. Yeah. He has his own restaurant, doesn't he? Anyways.
Yes, he does. It's called the Penalty Box.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's in I still have the sticky note here because I had found it and I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about this at some point. Here you go. It's called the Penalty Box. It's in the Steelcraft Garden Grove. So Timu, if you want to send us over a couple bucks for royalties, I guess, for advertising.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it'd be if we were a lot closer, I'd love to go check it out. But whenever we get the chance, if we go down to Anaheim, whether it's together or individually, I'm going to try to go down to the Penalty Box. So,
for sure. Yeah.
One of the few times that I actually want to go to the Penalty Box.
Yeah. That's when I first saw this in the outline, I thought it was going to be like like themed restaurants around each NHL team. So I was like, oh, Anaheim Ducks are just
gotcha.
going to serve like roast duck, you know?
No, they be serving shark, I think there.
Oh, I guess. Oh, so it's like they serve what their rival is.
Mhm.
Yeah. So San Jose and LA would be serving.
Would be serving duck.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Or the Kings be serving something Chicago? I guess they had that rivalry kind of in the early 2010s.
I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could be going through this for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting. Well, I mean, it's mostly just puns that he was coming up with. So, but
But that's the fun of a themed restaurant, right? So you
Yeah.
can create all the puns. So.
the Mike Fisher and chips and Thomas Tatar sauce is
The
good.
Thomas, no, but I think you have to say the sauce thing, like the sauce name. You have to say it a specific way. The Thomas Tata sauce.
There you go.
Yeah, and you need that guy specifically. Hire that guy specifically just to come out and say it whenever.
Mm-hmm. Anytime somebody orders it,
Yeah.
just like
The
fucking
wait,
kicks
like,
open the kitchen doors. And
yeah, the
yells
waiter's
it.
there taking your order. And would you like that with? Hey, where's the guy? Busts in Thomas Tata sauce, and then runs off with that.
I would. I think I'd much prefer if they served like tatar tots, just tater tots.
Oh
but
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that too.
just because I'm more of a potatoes guy than a fish guy. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm very
I like
much
my
about the
fish.
chips and rather than the fish.
Yeah, I see, and I'm more of the fish than the chips guy actually.
You don't like chips?
Like I do like chips. I'll normally go for a sweet potato fry, I guess if I can. So like this is like a whole conversation about French fries, I guess. But like some are hit or miss for me. Like some are really good and you can just continue to eat them, right? But some like depending, like some of the more thicker cuts, right? They're just really not bitter, but like really starchy to like texture.
Oh
I
yeah.
guess. So and that kind of throws me off. Like that's one where I'm like, okay, like I definitely want like some ketchup or tartar sauce or something like that. But
Tatar sauce.
yeah, tartar sauce. So
Yeah.
But sweet potato fries can't go wrong anyway. So
Yeah,
I don't think, at least. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I do like my sweet potatoes. So for about like 2 months there, like just making meals, I would do about like 2 sweet potatoes in every meal. And that was
really?
that was my carbs, yeah, instead of like rice or that kind of thing, just because it was less calories overall, but better carbs, like just
Oh yeah.
watching what I'm eating. So, but yeah, so it was not uncommon for us to have like 2 or 3 like 5-kilogram bags of sweet potatoes in the cupboards. So 'cause I'd use like a bag a week basically. So
Yeah.
but
Wow.
yeah,
I could never have that many sweet potatoes. Like I like them. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's like a treat. Like I couldn't just like have them for every meal. But
see, I would just like
Each their own.
slice them up, a little bit of olive oil over top of them,
Mhm.
and then mix them in with seasoning salt and garlic powder. That's what.
oh yeah. I like brown sugar with sweet potatoes. Like
Ooh,
brown sugar and
that'd be
honey,
good.
like because then
Yeah.
it's like a candied sweet potato almost, which
Ooh, okay.
totally defeats the point of the vegetable. But like,
Yeah, I might have to do it just for one meal though.
yeah, it's good for every once in a while. But yeah, like
Yeah.
just a good like seasoning salt or sea salt and a little black pepper and oil.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that on a veggie. So, all right, well, that is this part of the episode here. I guess for you guys, it's the whole episode. For us, it is only part of it. But yeah, Nate, if people want to chat about how good the reverse retros look and tell you how wrong you are about the black pants, then where can they do that at?
Please message me about that, especially. I would love to talk about that kind of stuff, and it saves me from talking about it here or annoying the hell out of my girlfriend with it. You can message me at or just tweet at me at Tatenamas, TATENHOMAS on Twitter.
And the whole show, you can follow that at Quack Report Pod on everything that you've got: Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, all that fun stuff. At HockeyPodNet on Facebook is where you can get the network as a whole. Thank you guys very much for listening. Oh, and myself at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97 on Twitter. Now, thank you guys for listening. We will see you on Monday for another episode. In the meantime, have a good one and go Ducks go.